Here I am again, back at it with another rant about Haunting Adeline because this is the book that just keeps on giving. I truly believe it is an amazing feat that I hate this book so much because I'm emotionally numb, which means I have a very hard time loving things, and it makes it even harder for me to hate things. So the fact that I despise this so much that I made multiple videos talking about it, and I've spent so much time sharing my gripes about this book should be studied. It is practically as unhealthy as people romanticizing Sade. Probably, okay, I should probably start this by saying what actually triggered me to make this because I find out that Haunted Adeline is getting a movie adaptation, which is one of my worst dreams made reality. Why did somebody believe this was like the choice to make? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in the world. I literally lay awake at night thinking about how much the universe hates me for me to be living at the same time as Haunted Adeline being popular. Because out of all the time periods, out of all the timelines, this is the one I'm experiencing. I don't know what I did. I probably deserve it, because I've been a bitch, but I still choose to be annoyed by it. And there's just so much that I can talk about this because, for context, in case you have been spared from this book, it is about a crazy, creepy stalker that becomes obsessed with a writer and starts just following her around and traumatizing her to the point that she falls in love with him. Although I believe she's just been conditioned to that because she doesn't see any other way out of her situation. I made an entire video talking about it because, okay, so the first video that I made was just me hating on the book and why I disliked things and why I felt things didn't make sense and stuff like that. The second video that I made was because I believe maybe I was just the idiot that didn't understand the book in its entirety, and it was actually just a story about trauma bonding. It was not meant to be a romance. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is actually an amazing book because it shows it it is textbook. The way this relationship develops, it is just textbook trauma bonding. But I think I'm just wrong, and I should have actually taken it at face value, and I shouldn't just try to make it any deeper. I think just the author was trying to romanticize a very toxic, very harmful, very disturbing relationship, and very toxic and very harmful, dangerous behavior. I think that is what the author was actually trying to do. She was just making a dark book about an abuser and its victim just having a happily ever after. Oh my god, I can debate this forever, but he didn't love her. He saw her once in a picture and he became obsessed with her. You cannot love someone without ever meeting them. It would make more sense to me if he fell in love with her because he read her books and stuff like that, which are still, quite concerning. But no, he literally fell in love with her just by seeing a picture of her and just by seeing her sign some books. And he decided, you know what, she's the love of my life, I'm gonna fucking stalk her. That's not how love works. It doesn't. And I know people are gonna give this gift of oh, it's a dark romance. It's not real. It is fiction. But no, these things happen in real life. I don't think people are like seeing this in the nuance it deserves. This thing happened in real life. Yes, this is a fictional book, but it is literally representing very real actions and very real behavior that people experience. And I just believe that's harmful. I strongly believe that is harmful, and I've never seen a good excuse as to why it isn't. Never. I've seen a lot of people say like, oh, but he loves her and he was just trying to show her that no, you don't have to show people that they love you. You don't have to. If you're having such a trouble trying to make this person understand that they love you, then plot twist, maybe they don't. You two shouldn't be together. Love is not meant to be that hard. And I say this is a dark romance girly. I write dark romance. I'm not a professional, sorry. It's just as a hobby. I only have like 3,000 followers. It's just like no. But I have no hate towards dark romance, even though I feel it has changed drastically since I first started reading and since I was first introduced to the genre. But I have a very deep love for the genre. I love it. I do tend to write very different. I do tend to like and I do tend to write very different stories, more psychological driven. My characters always have a reason as to why they are the way that they are. So that's probably one of the reasons why I have such a struggle with Say, because there's just not a clear reasoning as to why he is how he is. All of my characters, you can see their progress and you can understand where they're coming from. For Said, there's no understanding. You're just meant to accept him how he is, and there's just no like background to it. He's just that way because he is that way, and for me that's just like such lazy writing. Like it's not that I expect every fucking character to have like this deep lore, but I just personally enjoy making those characters because I mentioned it before. I love psychology. My favorite course when I was in college was personality theories or theories of personality. I don't know how it's said in English. And the crazy thing is, I didn't have to take that class. All of the other psychology courses that I took was because my degree required it. But that class, that was a requirement for the psychology degree. I didn't have to take it, and I took it, and that was my highest grade and the course that I enjoyed the most. It's because I find the human mind so interesting. So it's so complex. Like two people can have the exact same experience at the exact same time, and they can have completely polar opposite reactions. And I've always found that so interesting. So I implement that in my writing. And I love when people implement that in their writing too. And one of the reasons why I love dark romance is because people take these dark subjects and they show them in a different light. And I'm always so curious to see other people's perspective and other people's creativity. But when it comes to Haunted Adeline, I just think it is very harmful and very problematic. The just not only the book, the way it romanticizes things, the way that the community has responded to it, because now you see a lot of people excusing and defending this behavior when it's not okay in any other freaking way. Just people are gonna say, oh, this is fiction, it's not real, but it is real. It is real. These are things that actually do happen. This is something that is actively happening to somebody right now. And I think trying to romanticize is just so dangerous. I think at least it should be a clear disclaimer of this relationship is not okay. This is a very toxic, very harmful, very abusive relationship. This shouldn't be glamorized. I think that disclaimer should be inserted at the start of the book to let the readers know, like, listen, this book is romanticizing this, but it is in no way okay for you to experience this. And it's not okay in any way for somebody to do this to you. Because now you have teens, like, oh my God, I saw a very disturbing message, and I'm gonna link the video down below where I found out that this is a thing, like the movie is a thing. But she inserted this message. A teenager was talking about how, and I'm gonna just say it, it is technically not rape because she enjoyed it. And I need everybody to understand no means no. Arousal does not mean consent. Just because your body reacts in a certain way does not mean you want that to happen, does not mean you like it. And it bothers me so much. It stresses me out so much. It scares me for the future of society because we have spent so long trying to make people understand what consent actually is. And I feel we're just regressing. Honestly, it's crazy how much this terrifies me. It's crazy. Because this is just a book, but it's so much more than that. It's just the fact that this is the thing that people are consuming now, the thing that people are gravitating towards, the things that people want. There's so many people saying, I want a boyfriend like Said, which if you're one of those people, I strongly believe you should seek help. I don't think that is healthy. I think you could really benefit from discussing this with a psychologist because you don't actually want somebody like that in your life. You don't want somebody that doesn't respect your boundary and takes your bodily autonomy away. You don't want that. That's why there are fucking laws about it. Because people don't actually want that. People don't want to be violated that way. That was what it actually was. It wasn't just dubious consent, kink. No, this was actual rape. The woman was terrified. The woman was actively saying no. She felt disgusted afterwards. She felt not only humiliated, it was just like so. Oh, just thinking about it just gives me the ick because I've dealt with these situations. Not only have I experienced it, but I've dealt with people who have experienced this. And it saddens me a lot that people are romanticizing this when it's not romantic in any way. It's traumatizing. It is literally haunting. Like, this is not haunting Adeline, this is haunting me at this point. I wish people would be more honest and don't try to defend it or try to validate it by just saying like, oh, it is okay or this like that. No, just like be fucking honest. Just say this is a fucked up relationship, but I still enjoy it. That's completely fine. You can say that, but don't try to glamorize it. Don't try to romanticize it. Just be freaking honest and admit that you like some fucked up shit. That's totally fine. But don't try to make it something that it isn't. I don't know how to explain how much this scares me. Because yes, it is a book, yes, it is fictional, but it has very real ramifications. Society has worked so far and so hard to get to this point just for things to be regressing at this rate of people just going back to, yeah, consent does not matter basically. If your body reacts to a certain way. Like, no, that's not how it works. That is literally one of the most harmful rhetorics about this because a lot of victims go through this. It's just a biological response, it doesn't mean anything. And a lot of abusers try to use that to justify their actions. The court of law fails victims constantly because of that. And for that to be an excuse that people now use to rationalize why this is okay worries me a lot. Some very deep qualms that I have with the justice system, with society, which is the world in general. That's why victims have such a hard time being believed, being taken seriously, and getting justice. These are the excuses that people use. If you had an orgasm, then you liked it, then it wasn't abuse. Like, that's not. This terrifies me. This scares me a lot. This reminds me so much of that case with the hockey players in Canada where they raped this girl and then they were like, oh, but she never said no when she stayed in a room, but there's like 20 guys that were like having sex with her, and she was not able to get justice because they took a fucking video of her saying yes. If you have to take a video of someone saying that, this is not a romance. It is not. And Said is not a good character. He's not a good person just because he saves victims from human trafficking. If he's actively traumatizing another person and abusing another person, raping another person, one thing does not negate the other. Two things can be true at the same time. He could be doing good things while still being a horrible person. In fact, that's how abusers are. They hide behind their good deeds. I'm getting off topic here, but if you haven't gathered, I truly dislike that this book is being turned into a movie and that people are trying to justify them liking a really dangerous and problematic dynamic and trying to romanticize it. Just like, you can be honest because then it puts other people at risk. It normalizes this behavior for people that have not enough life experience to be able to gauge what is dangerous and what isn't, and what is okay and what isn't. Then you have people like that teenager who believes, oh, if I like it, then it means it's not rape. And if something similar to that happens to her, she would be very conflicted because she would feel just a lot of very strong emotions that she will not be able to rationalize because her body feels one way, but she has learned another. I get there's a lot of grown women who are into this. And like I said, you can like it, but just be honest about what you're liking. You're not liking a romantic story. You're liking an abusive relationship. And you can be honest about that. Don't try to make it into something it isn't. Don't try to make it less than it is. Just be, I guess that is my takeaway from this. Be fucking honest. Don't try to romanticize it. Don't try to portray it as something that it isn't. We're not perfect. We are allowed to have our kinks and all of that. But don't try to say like, oh, he's so in love with her when that is not actually what is happening. He's obsessed. There's a very clear difference between love and obsession. And people not understanding that creates a lot of dangerous situations in real life. And just because something is fictional does not mean it doesn't have real life ramifications. Just because something is fictional does not automatically mean it's okay. And there's people saying like, oh, Hannibal Lecter normalizes cannibalism. It doesn't. It doesn't. Hannibal Lecter is literally the villain in the story, and it's shown in the book that he is the villain. Throughout the entire book, they're trying to get the reader to fall in love with Sade. They're trying to justify his actions, being like, make her understand that she loves me. I love that she is scared of me. Like, it is not romantic when you are actively saying no and somebody is not taking that into consideration and still pushing your boundaries, violating you, invading your space, abusing you. Be fucking honest. Just be fucking honest. For the good and the benefit of all people and the entire society, just be fucking honest and don't try to make things something that it isn't. Because it puts people in danger. And yeah, I guess that is the moral of the story.